So, a little over a decade ago, I uploaded my first video to YouTube. It was just me walking around a cemetery, talking about what I saw, and looking for ghosts, actually. and I did a few of those. I didn't really have any aspirations to be a big YouTuber or anything like that. I was just having some fun with it. Not long after I started uploading videos, I came across the thing that maybe really want to get into making videos and documentaries and that kind of stuff, researching history and sharing it online. I didn't really go anywhere for a while. I kind of stopped doing YouTube stuff. I wasn't really into editing and that kind of stuff. It wasn't very easy for me. I picked that back up in 2021, and I started to kind of really have a lot of fun with it. And I've done a lot of different things over the years. I've done some gaming content, as we've seen on here, but I've also played games and done like Let's Plays and that kind of thing. But I've also done photography videos where I was like trying to teach people how to do photography, even though I really didn't know what I was doing myself. Did some vlog style videos where I sat around in a cemetery and talked about some random stuff and whatever I felt like talking about. My wife even joined me for several of those. I've also tried some travel vlogs and that kind of stuff. I have tried a whole variety of things. But one thing that I really found a love for and a passion for was storytelling and history and sharing history. And I did that through a series that I called Legends and Tales. And I was going around to different places in Ohio mainly, which is where I live, and talking about history of different areas and doing a lot of research and digging in. And I had so much fun. It was so enjoyable. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a long time to get back into it, because I kind of put a lot of that on the shelf when this channel started to take off. So I didn't really expect to have anything blow up on this channel. I eventually wanted to be making some money on YouTube. I wanted to get monetized. I wanted to be able to pay my bills, do some travel, that kind of stuff. You know, I didn't need to be a millionaire, but enough money to have the basic necessities met, right? And when this channel first got monetized, I got excited because I thought, well, there's an opportunity right there. I can use that as a springboard to allow me to achieve the other things that I want to do and to be able to make the documentaries I want to make and all that kind of stuff. But over the last year and a half, it hasn't really panned out the way that I had hoped. I've gotten some payouts. I've done pretty good, and there's a good chunk of you out there that have watched very, very religiously, like most every video that I put out there. You guys have been amazing. But I blew up on the Walking Dead game, which is a game that I liked. It was a fun game. It just wasn't what I wanted to cover all the time. And the problem is, a lot of people that came in through that series, that's what they wanted to see. That's pretty much all they wanted to see. I don't think there's very many people out there. There's a small group of people out there that found me in the Walking Dead content that watched through everything, you know, my core audience. A lot of the Walking Dead people, when I started making the Wolf Among Us videos, when I got into Red Dead Redemption and the stuff last fall, and even when I've gotten into the Walking Dead show, just didn't stick around and weren't there for it. And unfortunately, that's kind of a side effect of being doing a whole bunch of different stuff on YouTube and talking about a bunch of different games and shows and stuff, because a lot of people, they're interested in one or two things. They don't really want to hear a whole bunch of stuff. They're not interested in personalities necessarily. And normally that wouldn't be a horrible thing. Normally it would be like, okay, whatever, that's just the way YouTube works, right? However, recently I have had to start changing how I use my time. I've had to take on some extra work because I've got bills to pay. I have a family. I have rent. I have utilities. All of that has to be paid. And YouTube wasn't coming anywhere close to what I needed to do that. Because of that, my time has become more limited. For a long time, you know, I worked a job. I was in IT. I got laid off back in 2022. And I've been able to kind of like make things work for the past few years and do YouTube full time for the most part. That's not the case anymore. And because of that, I've had to figure out how I'm going to divide my time up and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to use it. And when it comes to this channel, as much as I enjoy talking about philosophy and morality and ethics and that kind of stuff, it's not really the passion that I've had. I don't have a passion for sharing that stuff on a regular basis specifically when talking about TV shows and games and that kind of thing. One, there's copyright issues. I've got a video out that just came out, the Eugene video, that there's a copyright claim on it right now that I'm fighting. I have fair use, but it's one of those things where that's kind of what you have to fight with when you're doing this type of thing on YouTube. But more than that, I'm a storyteller. I love history. I love sharing the history stuff. I've been wanting for years to really do this, the legends and tales stuff, and to share the stories and the history and the stuff that I'm truly passionate about. The stuff that I have shelved for the past year and a half because my primary focus was on Lost in Games. But now, with the way that things have changed, I've got to shift that focus, which means that moving forward on Lost in Games, I'm going to be kind of halting videos for at least the foreseeable future. I'm not going to be putting anything out. There's not going to be any unscripted stuff. There's not going to be any, because those things take a little bit of time. Even if it only takes a couple of hours a week, I only have, maybe 5 to 10 hours a week to work on stuff right now. And that's when I'm not super busy. And that 5 or 10 hours a week could be, I really want to spend that doing what I love. This is a hard thing for me because this is the first channel that I've had monetized. I dreamed for years of getting monetized on YouTube, and I could never quite get there until the Walking Dead videos on this channel. And it was amazing. It was so cool to be able to get paid to do something, to make videos on YouTube. It's a fun job. It's something I really love doing. But I have to figure out how I have to make my time, I have to do what I have to do with my time. So I wanted to make this video to talk about that and kind of fill everybody in, because I know that there's a lot of you out there that have been following me for a while. Some of you since the very beginning. and so you deserve some kind of explanation, not just a stopping making videos, right? Now, I'm going to be continuing to put videos out on other channels. I've got 2 channels that I have. One channel that I've been putting videos out on recently, that is called The Old Asylum. And I will link that down in the description below for anybody that's interested in checking it out. I write horror stories. I've been writing short horror stories for years. I've got a backlog of them. So I've been putting those on YouTube. I thought that'd be kind of a fun thing to do because it's something that I've done in the past and I really enjoyed doing. But the bigger channel that I'm working on right now, I'm planning on having a video every couple of weeks, every 2 or 3 weeks, and it's going to be called Lost Legends. I've got the channel already set up. I've got the first video. I've been writing the first video, been working on that for the past couple of weeks, trying to get everything ready for it. And that's where I'm going to be sharing some more interesting historical kind of stuff and digging back into the history and the stuff that I really love doing. And if you're interested in any of that, feel free to head over and check out those channels. I understand if you want to unsubscribe here. If I already made a note to the channel members out there. I wanted to let them know first that things were going to be kind of stopping on this channel because they're the ones that have been there for me. Some of them since the very beginning of the channel membership program. There's a couple of y'all that have been on there for the entire time as channel members, over a year. And that has really helped me out a ton, and it's helped me kind of keep going. All of you that comment on the videos, that watch every video, you have kept me going this long. And unfortunately, I'm just not going to be able to keep it going. My initial goal was to get this to the point where it was sustaining itself, where I could bring in enough every month to sustain this channel, to be able to pay the bills and that kind of thing, and do the other channels in addition. Unfortunately, that's just not the way it's working right now. Maybe at some point in the future, if things ever go in a good way with those, I would love to get back on and continue my breakdown of things like The Walking Dead, because I do enjoy breaking those things down and talking about those. It's just right now it's not going to work out so well for me. But I want to thank you all, everybody that has stuck around this long. I want to thank you for watching this video, for standing with me all of this time. If you haven't watched the other stuff, I'm leaving it up. It's not going anywhere. You can go back and rewatch all the old stuff. It'll still be there. I'll still check it from time to time and try to reply to comments and that kind of thing. But mainly I'll be focusing on those other 2 channels. So I want to thank you all. Everybody have a great rest of your day.